to when you were young. You noticed everything and took everything in. How do you think you learned to crawl? Learn to walk. Learn to eat. Well, a Russian theorist popular in the early 1900s said that this social interaction between you and your parents resulted in you learning all of these things. Welcome to Lev Vygotsky's social interaction theory. The basis of his theory is that a developing child needs social interaction to develop things like reasoning, memory, attention, and language. Take answering a phone, for example. When the phone rings, you exhibit many cognitive functions you learn because of social interaction with a parent or other adult. Perception, hearing the ringtone. Decision making, will I answer it or not? Motor skills, lifting the receiver to my ear. Language skills, talking and understanding language. Social skills, interpreting tone of voice and interacting properly with another human being. All of this you learn by simply watching your parent answer the phone. Vygotsky's theory says that there is a process with social interaction. First, seeing, you see an adult doing an activity. Then, jointly doing, you do that activity together. Then, independently doing, you have gained enough skill to do that activity by yourself. Now back to our phone example. You most likely watched your parents answer the phone many times. Then you discussed together how to answer a phone. Then you yourself could answer the phone without help. Vygotsky proposed a way by which the responsibility for psychological functioning is gradually transferred from the adult to the child. Adults structure activities so that the child's role is within the child's zone of proximal development, or ZPD. The ZPD is the difference between what a learner can do without help and what the learner can do with help. The darkest inner circle is what learners can do without help from an adult. The outermost circle is what learners cannot do. The middle circle between those two is the zone of proximal development, where learners can do things with guidance from an adult. The child's performance is at a higher level with adult guidance. Eventually, through participating with an adult, the child becomes more capable of carrying out similar activities on their own because this joint problem solving has been internalized by the child. Let's take a closer look inside the zone of proximal development. Vygotsky originally introduced his notion of the ZPD as a means of assessing children's potential for learning as an alternative to the static measures of IQ and mental age. When inside the ZPD, an adult and child may, in many cases, not have the same definition of a situation at first. For instance, a child may view a set of blocks as objects to be thrown or used for anything he or she likes. Whereas an adult may view them as building materials. The adult and child must come to some agreement on how to define the situation before they can achieve an end goal. In the ZPD, adults use a scaffolding technique to help a child complete an activity. Note that Vygotsky never explicitly used this word. Now, first, let me remind you what scaffolding is to a building. Scaffolding is a temporary structure used to support the work crew and materials around a building during construction. When the building is complete, the scaffolding is taken down. Like scaffolding aids a building, the adult aids the child. The adult supports the child when they are struggling, then steps back when the child is doing well. Do you think you've ever been in the ZPD? Most likely you're saying yes, but if not, here are some examples that you may have experienced. Learning how to dance. When you are learning how to dance, you look to other people around you on the dance floor and imitate their moves. You do not copy the dance moves exactly, but take what you can and add your own personality to it. Learning to drive. Parents and driving instructors guide you along the way by showing you the mechanics of how the car operates, the correct hand positions on the steering wheel, and the technique of scanning the roadway. As you progress, less and less instruction is needed until you are driving on your own. Educators. Vygotsky wants you to assign tasks that your students cannot do on their own but can do with assistance. This will help them be in the ZPD. You should provide just enough assistance so that your students learn to complete tasks independently and provide an environment that enables students to do challenging tasks with less and less guidance. I hope you learned more about Vygotsky's theory of social interaction. Here are two discussion questions to think about how this theory might affect education today. Number 1, Vygotsky argued that a major shortcoming of standardized tests is that they only measure what students are capable of on their own, not in a group setting where their minds are being pushed by other students. Do you agree or disagree with this viewpoint, and why? Number 2, how would you utilize the zone of proximal development in your own classroom?